Good morning. It's pouring with rain here in Miami, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to have my morning Joe. And you know what we say? The show must go on. And when we talk about the show, we're talking about selling flowers. Today, I want to talk about the history of roses because we've had many fan requests about how this thing got going back in the day in Los Angeles. And let me tell you, it's quite a story. When I first started in this business in 1980, there were no imports in the Los Angeles flower market. In fact, really, the only imported roses into California were coming from Oregon and from Colorado. But today, of course, everything has changed. We have roses coming from Ecuador and Colombia, principally. We have roses coming from Guatemala and as far away as Ethiopia and even from Kenya. We get roses occasionally from Japan. We've had them from India, and really they are grown all over the world. But our principal supplier of roses, of imported roses, they do come from Ecuador. Now, some people think that, importing roses is a new thing. It really isn't, because it goes back to the days of the ancient Romans. They used so many roses that they established greenhouses that grew roses. Well, not greenhouses, they had growing areas, growing fields. They grew them in Carthage, which is now Tunisia and Libya in the North Africa. And they would grow them in the winter, so they would have them for their festivals throughout winter, and they would bring them in by boat and have them in Rome to sell and to use for their incredible flower festivals. Today, much easier and faster. They are coming in by plane from all over the world. And we really, I think, enjoy the luxury of having these imported roses. But let me tell you, a story. When I first started in the Los Angeles flower market, my first Valentine's Day in 1981, and I worked for a little rose grower. The roses, we would come in the night before, actually the afternoon before, set up, and we would wrap a red rose, a white rose, a yellow rose, and say a pink rose, 100 roses. And if somebody ordered, say, 20 packs of red roses, they would have to buy 80 roses. And if anybody said, well, listen, I don't want all those colors, the manager at the time would say, your order's canceled next. And sometimes these people would literally break down and beg for the roses. And of course we would try and accommodate them. But I mean, it used to be crazy. Today, of course, tables have turned. There's way more supply generally than demand. Although as the infrastructure levels out and the economic basis for growing flowers becomes more practical in South America, I would say supply is becoming a little tighter. But one thing I do know for sure, the quality that we have gotten because of imported flowers, and roses in particular, it is phenomenal. They last longer, bigger heads, and the amount of variety in colors because of the interest in the rose is amazing. I hope this little insight on America's flower has been helpful. My name is David Donaldson, and don't forget to ask at your local branch, your sales associate, or your shipping department about all our fabulous roses and much, much more.